Hello, friends. Really glad to see all of you at the Cosmos Voice #1. Now we plan to make weekly meets and invite you with different projects from the Cosmos ecosystem and even beyond. We are planning to show you how the Cosmos ecosystem is huge, and the most interesting is to explore the Cosmos ecosystem because it's expanded very fast. So many projects just on the Pink Pub. We can see more than 120 networks and so many test nets, so many interesting news, and so many projects arrived. And today on the first Cosmos Voice, we invite Greg. Greg, he is co-founder and main ideologist of DAODISEO. This is a real-world asset project on the Cosmos. But of course, Greg can tell much more about it. But at first, Greg, or maybe I need to tell 2-3 words about myself. Hello, my name is Vlady. I am founder of POSTHUMAN Validator. I Cosmos ecosystem maximalist, and the Cosmos is my life since 2019, and most of my time I spend in the digital Cosmos. So that's why we have this idea to show to others how Cosmos is great and big. And Greg, maybe you can tell several words about yourself and what was your journey in crypto and how you came to the Cosmos ecosystem?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you, Vlad, for inviting me to this place. I am really proud to be here. To have an opportunity to speak about DAODISEO, but of course, as well, with this opportunity to contribute to the Cosmos ecosystem as a whole. And if I can continue here as a host, then I am definitely convinced that I will make a good contribution. Yeah. You are the person who actually brought me a little bit to the Cosmos ecosystem and to the validation. So I also want to appreciate that. Our experience with POSTHUMAN in general was incredible from the very beginning. So I want to thank you for all this, so far. Now, let me say a few words about myself. So I'm actually 55. You wouldn't believe that, but today is my birthday. so it's actually cool that today I can speak and present the DAODISEO. I am coming from business consulting originally. I'm doing business consulting for 25 years. I'm ex-Accenture, so I am coming from this background of consultants who are helping corporations in what we call business transitions, basically. And that's involve process reengineering and how we apply technology to the business and make the businesses basically more efficient. Yeah. And I am working in especially in oil and gas and pharma, so a little bit unpopular, yeah, but typically large corporations. And since I am coming from natural resources, so like oil and gas, everything related to the chemicals, pharmaceutical, oil and gas, even food industry as well is a type of industry that I am working for. But at the same time, because I am technology enthusiast, so when blockchain came about, I was shocked, by this new technological invention, and that was somewhere in 2017. And since then, absolutely devoted to crypto, enthusiast of decentralization. Yeah, for long we were thinking about the project that we could kind of put together with the real business case in blockchain. So I hope today we will speak about that a little bit.
This is so amazing and great background for real world assets projects, and so great that you came to Cosmos ecosystem with this expertise, so on. But at first, thank you very much. It's an honor for us to host you at your birthday. Thank you very much that you celebrate your birthday with us. We wish you endless will, eternal youth, and physical immortality. And to be honest, you look so great for your 55. It's amazing. You looks like you already know the secret of eternal youth. And yes, so DAODISEO. This is real world asset project on the Cosmos. Which real world assets you have?
Yeah, so thank you for asking actually and starting from this because it was one assumption that we wanted to start with, the fact that we have an asset. So we didn't want it to be a project that kind of work in theory space where you are thinking what you could do for asset tokenization and what kind of makes sense. Instead, we wanted to start with like a real business and making sure that we do have that asset, we own that asset, and also I need to say the asset is paid. It's kind of very important thing because actually if you want to use it as a collateral, so the asset needs to be clean from any type of loans, right? So this asset is fully owned, and for long we were like thinking what model would actually work and would be like a good business case for blockchain utilization and for tokenization of such a project. And we came to the conclusion that is nicely actually fitting for like a long-term development projects. So in our case, we are building a smart village. We have several plots in the island of Ithaca. And on those plots, we are going to, design and build villas all together in kind of smart village configuration. But the nice thing from the kind of community part is that within the community, we have architects and engineers, and those people are basically contributing to the process of, designing and building from A to Z, let's say. And this process of progressively adding the value to the asset is the essence of DAODISEO.
This sounds really great. Maybe you can tell some more details about your team. Yes, you tell that you have an architect, people from the real business, and as I understand, developers. So maybe several words about team, how it's big.
Yeah. So it's actually very nice. First of all, I need to say that we are now running already a testnet. So this was like a big, change for us because DAODISEO exists for, some time. As you can imagine, our big component is kind of traditional engineering, right? So like a technology, blockchain is a one part, but the part of engineering and being able to kind of design and build those places is something very important. So that's why, DAODISEO is existing for long. And during this process, like conceptual design was happening, but it was very important at some point. And I remember, Vlad, that you were kind of pushing me into taking that decision because I was always like reluctant, and you were saying, yeah, create it. And it was actually in a sense now from the perspective, very good decision. because even though now we need to make some upgrades on the network, but still we now have live experience on what it means to actually run a blockchain and the interaction with the validators, and how that interaction between people who are more on the business side, I remember like on the humanistic side, right? And people who are like from validation, they are validators, so that's what they do, for living. And eventually that interaction and collaboration is amazing, and is amazing learning that you could only experience once you are running a chain. So for a few weeks we are running a chain already, and we have now I think 47 validators already, and some of the validators join us in the first wave. It was like maybe 10, 13 validators that join us at the very beginning, and those were recognized even with a higher delegation, of course, because we were, of course, working hard to trigger the chain, and those people who help us to start it, they deserve like a special recognition. And then we ask a few people if they want to if they know some good validators. And basically with the very little, I would say, with the very little here and there, now suddenly many people came, and we are about to reach saturation, because on our parameter 50 is a saturation now. So so blockchain part is, I would say, essential, of course, for this experience. But now, like, what on top? Like what should be on top of this blockchain? And here, the key aspect of our technology is this concept of building information modeling. And building information modeling is something from a space of architects and engineers. They are basically doing digital twins. They are building them. You could imagine like a copy of your house, of whatever building, and you store this information in something that is called, the system, the database is called business information model. So basically, this is kind of open source as well. And the whole idea is that engineers and architects, they are adding a content of this BIM, and the transactions on the BIM server are hashed on the blockchain. So we know which documents and which information is actually the one that is unique source of truth. And the another part is that when the BIM synchronization is happening to maintain, decentralization of this database, this feedback is in plans to be processed by artificial intelligence, and in this sense give a feedback to architects and engineers to help them to build, to basically design and build.
This is sounds amazing, and maybe you can share some pictures, because like on the words it already sounds amazing, but I understand that I already kind of in DAODISEO, yes, and I already know that you have an island and that you already have the real assets. Yes, this is the real world asset project with real assets. Yes, not like we are just create the chain. You can tokenize something. No, you already have. This is what I like in DAODISEO, because you already have everything, and after you tell, okay, now it's cool time to add the blockchain. Yes, because many projects, it's like, we don't have nothing, we will run the blockchain and we will see how it works. Yes, this is not the case of the DAODISEO. You came to this very organically, and maybe you can show and share the screen and some schemes that people can understand better what is on the top of the blockchain.
Definitely. So let me share the screen, and I will show like a few charts which I think could like help to understand DAODISEO. So first of all, you will see that this this chart will be kind of playing in the moment, is a kind of GIF, and is conceptual structure of DAODISEO. So you see like a layers of conceptual system, which is a combination in reality of the organization, like a people, like community, and the systems, right, and the things that are happening on this system. So at the down there you see the real assets, and yeah, so this block, the real assets, and this is something that Vlad was referring to, that we wanted to start with a real project, so we face real challenges, because we want to solve like a real challenges that we know potential clients could actually face. So we will be facing those challenges, and we want to leverage blockchain technology to make this process of building, we believe, much better. Yeah. So as a second block here in green, you see the blockchain infrastructure itself. Yeah. So this is the testnet that is currently running. On top of that would be some kind of LLM. Here you see mentioned the Falcon. The reason is that we are somehow connected to the Emirates a little bit, and the fact that we have some legal entity there. So Falcon is actually a LLM model from Emirates, and is one of those that we could utilize. But the tests now are done with OpenAI more to see if the concept could actually work. Yeah. Then on top of this LLM, you have a legal part, of course. So in the community, we have also people who are not only specialists and expert on legal aspects, but also people with proven experience in crypto related legal aspects. Yeah, people who are related directly to the MiCA law in Europe, and people who are directly involved in the corrections on the ISO that are directly connected to the crypto industry in Europe. Yeah. Then on top, you always have this tokenomics, right? And you have some kind of tokens. So in case of the DAODISEO, our model has two types of tokens. And by the way, as I mentioned before, we are trying to replicate like a real the traditional world. So when someone is basically like developing real estate project, typically you are creating a company. That company in Europe is of special proposed vehicle type. And that company, of course, is owning the asset and protecting the asset from the legal perspective. And that company would like mint shares. So those would be like a equivalent of non-fungible tokens. Yeah. And in our model, there is a multiple SPVs. So DAODISEO is a platform for multiple SPVs. The pilot project is this smart village in Greece. And that would be under one SPV, but we already have in the pipeline some other projects and some land that we want to acquire, and that would be like a subsequent SPV. Probably the owners will be like maybe different, so it would be different issuers of those non-fungible tokens. Yeah, so these are like non-fungible tokens that exist conceptually in the DAODISEO. But DAODISEO, as any standard Cosmos SDK blockchain, has also a fungible token, of course, the native token, which is used for governance, as it is typically in Cosmos ecosystem, but also is being used or will be used as a utility token then inside of the DAODISEO ecosystem. Now, what I think I want to mention about what we believe is a kind of unique in DAODISEO is that we want to force the system to tie the issuance of DAODISEO with the amount of assets that we have on chain, meaning that we started, so like a 50% of maximum supply of assets is conceptually dedicated to compensate the real estate. So the kind of next real estate that will come will get like a less compensations of these fungible tokens, and therefore token is conceptually deflationary because the same number of tokens will be chasing increasing number of the value which is coming from the real world assets that are on chain. And then on the right side, you will see, the concept, of course, of the smart contract. So here we have like a couple of examples that we have already as a business. So as I said, Smart Village at the end is development project. So we have like a real needs. And one of the needs, for instance, is like tokenizing one plot with, let's say, 6 payments payment schedule. And another example is work that some architects are doing. So we would like to kind of simulate that work under the contract. And this would be like a building, for instance, building a terrain for DAODISEO, which is a case now, like modeling this terrain and loading it into the BIM, into the building information model. And that would be the contract that, typically the owners will be like creating and then providing funds. And then the contract, once is checked for the quality, then will be settled and liquidated. Yeah. So, I think I wanted to stress that part of balance between the number of ODs in circulation and the amount of assets. So we want to keep that very much under control, and we believe that this is what eventually will give a trust to the DAODISEO system as a kind of strong economically platform. Yeah. So I think maybe, I don't know if there is any question so far. I have some other slides.
Oh, at first, of course, personally, I have a lot of questions, but also I want to tell that people who are on the call also, please feel free to turn on the microphone to ask the question if you have, or if you don't want to use your voice, feel free to write in our chat your questions and we will voice it. So, but for now, for me, it looks really amazing because here is we can see the great structure. That can be even example for any other real world assets projects because you plan it very nice, yes, and amazing that you have such a cool team of. And great that you have this background from the traditional finance because in the crypto, a lot of people have very good Web3 expertises, but not Web2 or not traditional finance. My question is the next. So you already have your real world assets, so this network will have usability. So we already know that who will use it, but what about any other projects? So if any other project from some traditional finance will come, or how it will be easy or hard to join DAODISEO, and how do you think, do we need one chain for the one asset, or DAODISEO can be something like a not smart contract platform, but a RVA platform for other traditional finance projects?
Yeah, very clear. I mean, let me clarify that part. So definitely, we want DAODISEO to be a platform that could host many real estate development projects. So Ithaca is just one project, it's a pilot project, a pilot SPV, but on the same chain, we are expecting other projects to join. In fact, we are actively searching, in a sense, that the type of projects that we would like to have on chain are very specific, and of course they need to go through the due diligence process. So in DAODISEO we have a concept of due diligence where we are looking at the assets, but definitely assets that go through that due diligence process and prove to be clean and from legal perspective, and there is a desire, there is a team and desire to develop them. Not only they can develop them on DAODISEO, but DAODISEO will help them, and that's the whole story. Not only with assessment, legal assessment on how to manage legal structure, and what steps they need to make to make a legal structure kind of safe as well for the development of the assets, but we are providing them with this digital twin technology. So the idea is that they might have only plots, but they might not have an idea what they want to build. And on DAODISEO, they will find architects and engineers that actually will help them to make this project conceptually viable, and then eventually, taking the process to the next level, building digital twin, and then tokenizing, of course, that asset on DAODISEO. So in this case, this is in the future like a worldwide platform, and we could take on board any development project, hopefully many of them, in the future. But of course, there is this aspect of due diligence. Yeah.
Yes, this is sounds really interesting. And what's about the governance? Yes, so the first question is always about some economical questions. Okay, what we have, how we will get the money, how we will spend it. And after we already have it, the next question, and who's governing everything? Like, who makes the decision? Like, how I can be sure that nobody will take it from me?
Yes, very nice. No,
in my opinion, as the validator who participate in the decentralized governance, for me, it's even more interesting questions than the economics.
Yes, Vlad. And by the way, again, I need to kind of recognize, like, once again, that it was you who teach me, about the complexity of I would say, on-chain governance, and like making structures that could work on chain and could work eventually in a decentralized manner, right? So thank you for that once again. And also, once we launch a chain, it was also very exciting, like, to see how it worked. Yeah, we have our own idea about, like, a business governance part. Yeah, and you see that this is basically a structure we are recognizing in DAODISEO 7 profiles, and basically, like anyone that is SME, subject matter expert, because we have, like, those experts from different fields. So eventually they are fitting into one of those. Yeah, normally they are fitting one of those. But here in the middle, and in the next version of this chart, you will see this. In the middle, there is a governance via validators. And this is really the kind of, I would say, central portion of the DAO, of DAODISEO. Those are validators, that are maintaining the chain and making those people from the business part possible to have that infrastructure. And it's very actually interesting, because when we posted some of the conversation on Telegram of DAODISEO, and we asked validators, like, what they think about the governance structure, they recognized that there are definitely two layers. That there is a layer of validation where definitely, they will protect the infrastructure and will protect also, decisions regarding the changes of the tokenomics and chain parameters. Now there is a conversation about, okay, what should be inflation in this type of system, and it's very nice to see how validators are arguing about these. And I hope that we will land with something like between 0 and 5%, or at least that's the current thinking. And there will be still a mechanism to push inflation to 0. But otherwise, if the system is not behaving as expected, so then it could grow a little bit. But we don't have, we don't want to have inflation like a 10%, 20%, 30%. We don't want that type of inflation. Ideally, the inflation would be 0, and that's something that validators will be also protecting. Yeah. Now, also validators are carrying the binary, right? And because they are carrying the binary, so whatever part of the system that is in the binary is in the hands of validators. So in our case, in the binary, we have like a digital twin synchronization. So that's this part. Let me come back to this chart, because I'm finding always this chart very interesting. This on the right, you have this is traditional concept of BIM model coordination. You always have a kind of coordination effort. Yeah, and this coordination effort, typically like BIM software is used. In our case, we are using open source software BIM server. And there is a functionality there to receive on that digital twin different types of content, like architectural content, structural content of the building, engineering, and all this is kind of combined here. But by the time you are combining, typically you have some logs with the kind of errors. So we want to read this, and all these events, we want to hash them on chain. So finally, what we would have is like a record of data, which is proven on this digital twin. Yeah. So that's a little bit the idea. Therefore, there is an aspect of governance which is, I would say, at the level of binary, which would be more in the hands of validators. And this element of synchronization of BIM will be definitely part of that. And you will have this part of governance that most likely, this one, that most likely needs to actually work with something like DAODAO. Yeah, and that's why Vlad, that we are already talking. We spoke with Noah, and Noah said that once we do the upgrades and we have a Cosmos, we have a Cosmos compatibility, then they are happy to help us to integrate with DAODAO. So then this concept of managing the business side, let's say, and the SPV could be done by DAODAO. Or with DAODAO, should I say?
Yeah, sounds great. DAODAO is so great tool, amazing for the so many different governance models can be implemented with DAODAO.
Okay, I have one more slide here that I found also conceptually kind of interesting, and is also speaking a little bit to this concept of governance. So, I am imagining these a little bit like circles. And of course, you have these DAO governance via, traditional proposals that we have. But also, you have a support here, yeah, for DAO. Then, somewhere here in this next level, we have this data, in reality, database, where the data are, right? Like for us, what is important is a digital twin. So digital twin, we can't lose digital twin. That's why, we would love to have like several of those databases. Like we could start with 3 maybe. And the idea is that they are in sync. and preferably in different jurisdictions. So the concept is that SPV can never lose the digital twin. Yeah, it's one of the, I would say, things that we are offering to the SPV, that they will have digital twin, that they will not lose, and it will be in different jurisdiction, so it will be very well protected. And this is there is also like a validator arguing. When I say arguing, discussing like in a very positive way in the chats. You know, about like this RPC node in one hand, like a full database needs, and how many of them really the platform like this need, versus the concept of the BIM server and digital twin, because you know, those things does not need necessarily to come together. But what looks natural is that some of the you know, biggest validators, or validators with the very good infrastructure and very, I would say, professional and fluent in all these, could even maintain the infrastructure for BIM server, for which they would be rewarded in a special way, of course. Yeah. And in digital twins in BIM, you have so-called IFC files. I'm not sure if someone on the call, you know what those files are, but basically this is like international standard of exchanging digital twin information between different projects. Yeah, as you can imagine, different architects, they sometimes work in different software. So in order for them to be able to talk to each other, they are generating those IFC files, which are integrated in building information model. Yeah. And then, of course, we have a validators, like protecting the network, of course. Subsequently, BIM professionals, architects, engineers, but also landlords, because they are participating in the process of building. So in DAODISEO, actually, landlords, you know, it could be different structures. You know, sometimes one plot is owned by 4 people, sometimes it's owned by 10 people. But one way or other, they are kind of supporting the process. They are, you know, interested on this. And, you know, for architects, engineers, and landlords, we have more like I'd say B2B, let me put it that way, business to business type of interface, where we are helping them in this building process. While for mass market, we need to have a slightly different interface, which is more a kind of gaming type. And so allowing people for, you know, fractional investment. Yeah. And at the end, of course, you have this layer of economy layer, where in one hand, the landlords could utilize the asset as collateral and draw some liquidity from the system. But also architects and engineers, you know, they have these contracts, so they can participate in the contracts, and they are gaining money from the contracts, and especially gaining also all these from interacting with artificial intelligence and responding to clarifications that are happening during the integration in BIM server. Yeah, maybe I pause.
So this is one of the most detailed projects that I saw on the Cosmos for the long period of time, and by this picture and the plan, it's very cool and detailed. But who are you looking for? So as I understand, validators you already have the validators, and these validators contributing, and I already even see the some posts from the Dima Delay, who made the first contribution for the DAODISEO, and as I understand, a lot of validators are contributing, and as I understand, DAODAO validator is contributing for the development, and so on. How other people can join or contribute for the development of DAODISEO? Maybe you need developers, or maybe how common community members who are not validators and, for example, not the developers can contribute or participate in the development of DAODISEO?
Yes. So thank you, Vlad, for asking. And of course, there is an opportunity almost for all people, all type of people. But let me start from like recapping of where we are, right? So we went live with this testnet blockchain, and the process was like a really nice and neat and clean. We didn't have like many technical challenges. As you know, Olin John, I need to recognize Olin John as well, which is coming from U School, and he made it with a lot of very diligently, let me say. So the process was very smooth. Now, we have, as we mentioned, we already have validators almost. We almost reached 50 of the validators. We are preparing for validators a little bit of the kind of KPIs for the future. What like a typical project does, we spoke one day about this. So making it very clear and neat for the validators, like what we are expecting from them and how they will be rewarded. Key performance indicator, let me say, something like that. Yeah, what we would like to have. But now we need to jump to the next stage and we need to make the upgrade of the network. The upgrade of the network is based on the standard Cosmos SDK. We are just adding some modules that we need, for instance, for the integration with DAODAO. And I think it would be lovely if we could have like one person that could a little bit support Olin John. And I don't know if this just tell him, hey, tell me if you have any trouble, or this type of support, or maybe taking one of the models and trying to implement, because there are several. And Olin John, I think, he's probably maybe half work. Yeah. So we need that type of a little bit of help. Now,
in summary, you are looking for the person for the it's cool to have the developer that is familiar with Cosmos SDK models and can create Cosmos SDK model. Yes, and this person need to understand a little bit Cosmos. Yes.
Yes, probably yes, Vlad. Now, all the models are standard. So, like a next step would be custom model. And so that's the next level of complexity. But for the time being, those are standard models. So, and basically because the net was launched with the CLI, with the Ignite, sorry, not CLI, with the Ignite. So basically we need to scaffold. Yeah, we need to scaffold those standard models, and that's what Olin John is doing, and probably some support on that would be more than welcome. Yeah, so if we could find anyone who could give some support, that would be amazing. Now, in the other hand, there is a very interesting conversation on happening on the tokenomics channel, and that conversation is about this relationship between amount of assets that we have on chain and amount of ODs that we should mint in exchange. Yeah, and we want to create a little bit of algorithm there, or at least several parameters. So if someone wants to join this discussion, and especially someone who has profound understanding of the mechanics of tokenomics, basically what we want is, we minted 30 billion tokens now for the first asset, which is like $1 million worth. So, if the next asset will come, so we need to, from the 20 millions that left, we need to kind of decide how we are going to mint them in the future. Yeah. And this conversation is very interesting, and anyone who has experience in tokenomics and discussion of this type could actually join our Telegram on the tokenomics channel and participate there. Yeah. So of course. Then, we love architects and engineers and BIM experts. Of course, they are very welcome. Many of them are actually already. If any validator has like any architects in the family or as friends, and because DAODISEO in this sense, is like I would say very futuristic technology, because at the end what we are trying to do is to support decentralized development, which is something completely new. It could be really something great. Yeah. And combining this with artificial intelligence, and sounds very interesting. It is almost like one day we will be probably able to just say, hey, now show me this roof, not that red. You show me with different color, yeah, and then you will see the house changing color of the roof, yeah. So one day it will be very, very incredible process of designing buildings with AI, and the collaboration between architects and engineers will be at different levels. Something amazing. And I think my intuition is telling me that some of this is only possible in the decentralized systems, because traditional structures are too rigid. They are very rigid, and they are very rigid, and they are very hierarchical. Yeah. So you don't have this spirit that you have in a decentralized system. And when two engineers meet together and both wanted to do the same, and now they see that they are collaborating, they are very happy. When they see the outcome, they are just like like kids, because it's something amazing, like creating something completely new with that type of technology. Yeah. So yes, if anyone has architects or BIM engineers or engineers, structural engineers, even people from real estate, we have brokers, for instance. So anyone that knows people that are related to the real estate, and that could do validators, but also non-validators, they could do that. So please, let us know. We will invite them to the DAODISEO. Or feel free to tell them to join the DAODISEO community. I think the type of conversations that we have are very, very interesting. Then the next one would be integration with DAODAO. So that part, with Noah, we already had a conversation. And I think, my impression was, if I can say, openly here in front of others, I don't want to kind of commit him to anything, but I think he liked our project and he wanted our project to be integrated with DAODAO. Yeah, I think he just, think that the project makes sense. So that's something that will be happening. And obviously the mainnet launch. And because mainnet launch would allow us also to, do a little bit of price discovery. So we are discussing now, like, what is the perfect mechanism for price discovery. People on the channels, they are posting some, some choices, how we could make it. And of course, we need to select some platform and then expose ourselves also for price valuation from the outside, and that will be a big thing, yeah, because it's important for us to tie these fungible tokens that are minted with the asset. So that's incredibly important because it is affecting the price, yeah, directly.
This is amazing. So I think many people can find themselves in the development of the DAODISEO. Me personally, I already joined the DAODISEO, and as Greg mentioned, we met at the Validator school, and this is very nice that you decided to know more about validation, because maybe it's also the one of the reason why you chose Cosmos ecosystem, because I was telling how it's easy to build a blockchain with the Cosmos, not with any other technologies. But also we have some questions from our community members, and this question from Superera. He's one of the contributor of Cosmos ecosystem. Superera, hello, thank you very much for your contributions for the Cosmos ecosystem. Maybe you also will able to find yourself as the contributor of DAODISEO. He asking, you are using AI to help with analyzing real estate data, but since these decisions affect real investments, how do you make sure that AI suggestions are accurate and trustworthy?
Yes, thank you for the question. You know, it's a very valid question. So thank you for that. So first of all, we are absolutely convinced that we are not going to remove humans. So it's not about removing humans, and engineers and architects are playing an incredibly important role. And actually, the role of architects cannot be, is very difficult to remove, and it will be difficult to totally remove, their role, not only because the legal responsibility and they are signing, the documents. We don't want, big building to fall, and we don't want bridge to fall. Yeah, so they are actually responsible legally for their actions. Yeah, but not only this, what we want them to help them to take decisions that only humans can make. So let's say if someone is loading a new file, like new IFC file, and let's assume that this new file has windows that does not fit the hole. The hole is bigger than the window is bigger than the hole, and then something is, something, the BIM server will say, hey, something is kind of wrong here. Yeah, but it will tell you in the very ugly way. In the traditional world, it is telling you in the very ugly way, and basically when the AI process that and could suggest like different type of actions in the much more I would say human readable way, and such thing would actually increase productivity of that architect. So architect could actually work on several projects at the same time, and it would be for him probably more earned money and more value built, and for the project would be lower costs. Yeah, I hope I was able to respond. Yeah.
Yeah, friends, if you have more questions, I remember we have a really horizontal structure here. Feel free to ask the questions, or maybe turn on the mic.
Yeah, I have. Hi, Greg. Hi, Vlady. Hi, everyone. This is the Validator tutor in Cosmos speaking. First of all, I join in the congratulations and best wishes. Secondly, could you please tell us in a few words about your collaboration with the Symphony blockchain? What exactly does this partnership involve?
Okay, I hope that I understood the question, but are you asking about like a relationship with validators or relationship with the blockchain?
So the question is about relationships between DAODISEO and Symphony blockchain. Symphony blockchain is also one of the RVA projects, and they are making tokenization of the different stable coins, but non-USD stable coins, like stable coins for the China, like for the BRIC countries. and so on. And on the Symphony, they are also building the infrastructure for the tokenization of different real-world assets. And as Dima told, he knows that DAODISEO have some connections and collaborations with the Symphony, and how it will be, and can you tell more about this collaboration?
Yes, definitely, yes. And I am also glad that this question actually came, because I wanted to speak about this and I kind of forget about it. So in our model, we already know that one way or other we need stablecoin functionality, and this is because contracts, majority of the contracts that are signed, especially when you are speaking about someone acquiring the plot, like someone who is acquiring the rights to this plot, to these shares. So in this case, those contracts needs to be valued and settled in stable coin, because anything that is that volatile would not be accepted but by any kind of traditional standards. So we need that, and we have, of course, different options, and people are having like a different opinions, and the discussion is still ongoing. It's an open discussion in DAODISEO. Some experienced validators whom I trust a lot are suggesting that we rather go with one of the existing coin, and obviously USDC and Tether are candidates, but also on that list could be a Symphony, in theory. And the other alternative is like minting your own stable coin. In our case, like if we assume that we don't have, I would say, ambition to convert our stable coin in some kind of stable coin which is famous, rather than that, we just need the stable coin to calculate our contracts, and that's it. So I would say that we could create one, like for us, only for us, right? As long as the amount of this stable coin together with the amount of ODIs is still in some kind of logical ratio versus the assets. So let's say the SPV decided to mint the assets. The assets are now worthy $1 million. So then, the total amount of that stable coin plus the amount of all these in circulation needs to be in the ratio that the community wants, and maintain that ratio. When the new asset is coming and go through via due diligence, therefore we have more collateral, therefore we could mint more stable coin and eventually more ODIs. So that's the overall idea, and is actually in this space where Symphony came to the picture, as potential kind of partner of DAODISEO. So it's a little bit like with DAODAO. So with DAODAO, it's like a fantastic project. They have these amazing community governance tools that we would love, to have in DAODISEO. Why? Because for SPVs, like if you need to maintain several SPVs, which needs to be independent, and then, like the architects and engineers, they will have their own gremium and their own DAO. So most likely, something like DAODAO would be perfect, for DAODISEO. But the same way, the stablecoin experience would be very valuable, and that's why we are talking to Symphony. And because we need to, at the end, we need to one way or other to, address our requirement of stablecoin in our system. Now, I am just insisting that in case of Symphony, I think they are backing, partially at least, the stablecoin by the governance token. In our case, we are rather backing our coin with the real estate assets. So our collateral at the end is a real estate asset itself, and not, not crypto asset, physical asset. So I'm not sure if I was able to kind of clarify that.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Because I saw this information in your documentation site that the Symphony blockchain is collaboration with DAODISEO. That's interesting for me. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you for the question, and I very much appreciate your interest, on that. And obviously, the concept of stablecoin is extremely important for us. We don't want to make a mistake. We want to make a good choice, and and at the end, also the ideal would be collaborating really with some Cosmos project, which is kind of dedicated to stablecoin, because that's the power of Cosmos, right? So in essence, you could argue that we should concentrate on the real estate, on our business, like main business, and then allow others to play with the stablecoin. Yeah.
Because I think the first year was a building in Cosmos that next 5 years for a business on and no project.
I'm not sure if I understood that part, but I think I would say for good and for bad, but I think for good, we are married a little bit with the Cosmos ecosystem, I think, and I think it makes sense. One, because the technology is amazing, is very solid, is bulletproof. And this is something, extremely important for someone who is running like a serious business. You don't want to mess up. You don't want to now lose the assets or whatever. and that's extremely important. So in this sense, Cosmos is, I would say, extremely strong. And then also developing on Cosmos with all these standard models is amazing. Is just something that is difficult in other systems. Let's say if you try to do this in Cardano, it will be much more difficult. And then also these connections with other systems via IBC is like just great. So with something like DAODISEO, we could connect with IBC with some other projects that might make sense. Let's say Provenance. Like Provenance is a chain that at least partially is announcing themselves as a mortgage broker. Yeah. We would love to actually work with Provenance and have some back and forth of assets between DAODISEO and Provenance. If they are doing mortgage brokering, that would be amazing. Yeah.
Hi, can I ask a question?
Of course, yes, we are here.
So, Greg, should we continue deployment of our program?
Yeah, I think that conversation about the deployment of the user interface for the mass market is something that we need to see together, yeah, Indra, because I think that's your baby, and we need to talk about that. Yeah, what steps?
Maybe you can show how it looks when we upload some kind of AFC files and use AI for analyze this.
I would almost say, Indra, that if you want to show, I will give you a stage and then trigger the user interface.
So you can open from your window, for example.
Yeah. Okay. So let me. I think it is.
But also, friends, yeah, while Greg looking for the right link, I want to show you that we want to build this Cosmos Voices in the best spirit of the Cosmos ecosystem. When it's okay if you will join the conversation, also will show something, asking the questions. We don't want to create the same typical AMA when just two people can speak and nobody else can do nothing. No, feel free to join, to participate. This is this space we specially built for the real cosmonauts. Yes, for the people who want to speak, who want to share. And now, this is...
Vlad, just give me literally 5 seconds. I am back, okay? 5 seconds.
Yes, of course. We will give 5 seconds. Maybe Indra maybe looks like you already understand what this application. While we are waiting for the Greg, maybe you can tell several words about this user interface.
Yeah, we built on this on Python using Cosmos SDK. So now in this prototype, you can see, for example, upload EFC file of Cosmos Tower that you can view in 3D viewer. Is one of assets that we can upload in our program. So anyone can upload your EFC file to get some AI analytics for this file. For example, if we scroll down, we can speak with AI and ask him question about this class. For example, if we input, can you explain this?
Yeah. Sure, Indra, let me take it. Maybe I will try to kind of provide a little bit of the background first for people to kind of understand where we are coming from with this interface. So probably you still remember at the beginning of the call, we mentioned that there are kind of two aspects of DAODISEO. One is more like a B2B, which is the interaction with architects and engineers, and they have slightly different dashboard for the interaction with the AI and management of the development project. And then there is an interface, which is this one, which is more meant for, I would say, more mass utilization. Yeah, so other people, not only engineers, which are also using this, but in some cases, yeah, but others could find also interface like more attractive, more kind of gaining oriented. Yeah. Now, what is the key part and the key kind of functionality of this? So let me go first to this upload part. So as you see, you have like a typical drag and drop functionality to basically drop the file here. Yeah. And what file we are dropping? So we are dropping IFC files. Yeah, IFC file is basically .ifc, and is that file with the content of the digital twin. And that content could be whatever. Yeah, it could be terrain, it could be building, it could be roof, it could be windows, energy. Like you have all types of files, and those files are classified in the kind of classes. And architects and engineers, basically what they are doing in their work, they are developing those files, and then they need to integrate that with the BIM. So this interface allow people basically to do two things. One, being able to integrate the file, so meaning like loading the file. Yeah, I just select the file. I am not going to do it now, but I can select the file, load the file to the system, and then the system will basically start analyzing this file and analyzing if the file is entering in the system smoothly, or it is actually giving some inconsistency with the rest of the model in the BIM, and is providing information about this via artificial intelligence kind of chat bot. Yeah. Now, the ultimate goal of this interface is not only to load the files, but also to generate the contracts. So at the end, in this file, in this interface, we will be able to launch on the DAODISEO network the contract which contain the work to be done, the engineering work. And that contract could be, providing like terrain file or providing some part of the work. And in this contract, you will have like several players in the contract, like it might be architect, another engineer who is doing quality check, and maybe the representative of the SPV. And then there would be kind of money loaded to the contract. And then this contract will have like a due diligence flow. And, both the contract and the file that was incorporated needs to be kind of cleaned at the end, yeah, and needs to pass this cleansing system. And these checkers, which are engineers and architects at the end, will determine when the file is actually, quality appropriate and properly loaded. Yeah. So so we have then capacity of uploading the file, the due diligence flow, then also the concept of multi-sig, because this contract is not only about like uploading the IFC file, but you also need to kind of commit yourself. Yeah. So there is a multi-sig attached to this contract, and the people who are participating in the contract are basically signing the subsequent steps to complete the contract. Yeah. And at the end, when the contract is finally settled, then whatever agreements were are going, to different people. Yeah. And you might have a different varieties of contract, by the way. Just want to make it clear. Some contracts are engineering work, some contracts are selling the assets. Yeah. Then what else? Yeah, I mean, there is a connect the wallet, of course, here. So obviously, if I connect now, probably I need to open my my wallet. So if I connect the wallet now, yeah, I can see here already. So there is a profile management as well. And, basically I would be able to go to my properties, my contracts, and there will be a possibility to staking as well on this dashboard. And then there is some other capacity like the contracts. So, all the contracts which are running on chain, they are with different status. So active, pending, completed. And then here you could see, some KPIs and information about this particular asset, and from kind of financial perspective and perspective of different stakeholders that are collaborating. Yeah. What else? Yeah, there is a viewer here, but I think the viewer you saw already. The viewer. So that's a little bit the idea. This is still a mock, I would say, even though there is a lot of functionality. As far as I understand, Indra, I was actually amazed how much functionality there is already there. And the idea is that we need to connect this with the blockchain, of course. Yeah. So we need to upgrade the blockchain first, and then being able to, in one hand, write a custom model which contain like a BIM synchronization, so making sure that the same correct information is hashed on different BIMs, and that would be at the custom level. It needs to be at the protocol level, and then at the level of Cosmos, we will have those contracts which we can see here. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for presentation.
Thanks, Indra.
Yes, this is only already this app already looks so cool and amazing. This is, I think, a really big step to the creating of the digital twins of the some material things. I even remember this is in the functionality of DAODAO, when you can put to the treasury some NFTs for the some material things, and if we combine this user interface with DAODAO and DAODISEO, it will be so big possibility, so many different possibilities. I can even create, for example, NFT on my laptop. So, friends, if you still have any questions, also feel free to ask them. For me, it's really amazing that so many interesting and cool projects come into the Cosmos ecosystem. And you already answered on one of my questions that I didn't ask. It's like why you prefer Cosmos tech to any other technologies and any other blockchains. And you already told how it's great. Totally agree. I really don't see any great alternative to the Cosmos in the case of the developer-friendly, user-friendly security parts. So not Solana, not Ethereum don't give such big and great functionality. And maybe you have something like a call to action, and maybe you want to share something that I didn't ask, but you think that it's important to share. So feel free, Greg, to do it.
Yeah. So thank you for this. Actually, yeah, we would love, first of all, to anyone who is not yet part of DAODISEO, in this call. So please, of course, join our Telegram and follow us. So that would be great. I think there is, we are trying to do something with Centrifuge for the newcomers, new people who will open the address on the DAODISEO network. So for everyone who will join and is a new user, we will have some kind of faucet to play, with our network. And of course, follow us in our journey to mainnet, because that will make DAO very different. So please, follow us and help us to achieve that goal.
Sounds great, sounds amazing. At first, we will, of course, add all the important links in the description of this video. We will record all the Cosmos voices and we'll publish the records and add all important links. Also, now I want to share screen a little bit because we have this Cosmos ecosystem inter-community hub. Yes, I think that we need to think not only about inter-chain and cross-chain transactions, but also about inter-community. We have so many different topics about many different projects in Cosmos ecosystem where we had representatives, and I'm pretty sure that one day we will have meet with all representatives of all these projects. And now we've created a topic about DAODISEO, and I already tag Greg here, and feel free to also add all the important links that people can directly see where the real groups, how I can find the real representative. And also, thank you for this beautiful evening. I really glad that we start this journey with Cosmos Voice in English, and we will meet with you next Sunday, and I think every Sunday. And also, Greg, your English language is so great and so amazing. If you would like to contribute for the development of the Cosmos ecosystem as the host of the Cosmos Voices to speak with our guests, it will be brilliant and it will be pleasure for us. Your English language is so nice and cool. And also, friends, if you are project on the Cosmos and you want to tell about yourself and to show to other cosmonauts what you are doing, what you are building, and maybe find some people who will contribute for your project, also contact us. We will glad to invite you on the Cosmos Voice to speak with you. Friends, Greg, thank you very much. Thank you for all people.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure, Vlad. And of course, I will do the hosting and contributing to the Cosmos ecosystem in general is a big proud. So thank you.
Thank you very much,
Greg. All the best for your birthday, and Vlad, thank you very much for setting up this call. It's a really cool thing to participate.
Oh, thank you for your participation, because I think that the participation is a great value, and I think we will live in the economics of participation. So those who participate will get more than those who don't participate. And all levels of the participation is very important. Thank you for our guests. Thank you for those people who was asking questions. Thank you for those who just was watching, because this is also very important to participate on all levels. And we will see each other on next Sunday. It will be 27th of April on the Cosmos Voice number 2. So friends, cosmonauts, have a nice journey. Bye-bye. See you soon.
All the best. Bye.